Welcome to AI Creatives Connect. And as far as the video, because I got ideas about the video and I had to make the ideas work, it was very tricky. So I first drafted the characters in Sora. You folks know what Sora is? This is Sora. If you look at my Sora, you see a lot of imagery that you might have seen on this channel. These are all generated from text prompts. These are all generated from text prompts. Many of these, you see these on the channel. These are all text prompts, right? So I use a lot of Sora. So that video of me with the record executive driving, this was done in Sora. But then you got to take this and then you got to import it into Hedra. So this is going to be very straightforward for you to know what was going on. You just copy this image, you put it into Hedra, and you then match the audio and the video. But I'll show you very shortly how I did that. So you draft the characters in Sora, and then you can manipulate the characters in MidJourney. Let me give you a very quick illustration of that. Okay. So MidJourney, when you go into MidJourney, you can see this. All of this stuff was done in MidJourney. Some of the animations, some of the, it's kind of like B-roll almost. This was all done. So what you would do here, you could paste an image such as that record executive. You could choose that you want it to be video, you want it to loop, and you just hit submit, just like any other AI tool, and it's going to create a video. Now, I use this when I don't necessarily want to match audio exactly onto the mouthings of the characters. But what's going to happen here, as you can see, it's baking this thing. When it gets to 100%, you're going to have a loop that could play forever. Same loop, just over and over again. But it can be very helpful for, think of it like B footage in your video. You know, just filling in empty spaces. But beyond this, and it doesn't do a bad job. I didn't even give it a prompt. I just threw in the photo. I should have probably given a better prompt. But even without a better prompt, it's AI can kind of guess, oh, this guy wants to do something with the person driving and the album, since I'm pointing to it. And it shows you this is 92% done. And when it's fully done, you have a loop like this. You see, it's just looping over and over again. Over and over again. So this is one of the tools that you could use to create some footage to fill in space. So I manipulated in MidJourney. I further drafted in Gemini. So just so you know, Gemini, if you have a pro account with Google, Gemini can be used to draft some ideas further. You just type in a prompt and it delivers an idea in video. So let me move this over here and see if I can grab a Gemini page to show you how it works, or any of the pages I used. Let's see. Okay. Maybe this. Okay. So this right here, this is Gemini, and I gave it a prompt, and this is what it gave me in return. This.
Yo, windows down, top back, cruising through the sunshine state. We ain't got no worries, living life at our own pace.
But again, I'm not using the audio from it, I'm just using the video, but it does help. The more shots you have, the more options, you know, for you filling in all those empty spaces, so that it always looks new, because you want to grab the attention of the viewer, so that every clip, every few seconds, it changes to something different. So you could stack up like that. Another really cool tool to use is Nano Banana. I don't know if you've done anything in Nano Banana. Let me show it to you. So Nano Banana was released a few weeks back. This is what it looks like. So I could get started, sign up and get started. Okay, so I'm in here and I could just paste this same photo, and I could give a command. I could say make the car red and covered, and hit run. And at the end of the day, you're gonna have a different image. See that? So I just gave it a simple prompt: make it red, make it covered. Boom. You can then take this if you needed to, and you could animate it. So I use Nano Banana as well. Another tool that I use for the video is VO3. This is VO3. It's the tool that empowers Gemini to be able to take prompts and give you the video. But this is the main tool from Google. So let's click on Create with Flow. And why does it want me to sign in? Okay, go to sign in with Google. Sign in with Google. Let's do that. And then when you're signed in, as you can see here, all of these are videos that were created for that same rap video. You can see that they got all different nuances. Some of them have got the quirky AI behaviors, which you might have to cut off, like the windshield just appearing suddenly out of nowhere, stuff like that. This was also created in VO. But again, this wasn't done for the audio capabilities. I just wanted to get enough footage to make everything seem engaging and not dull, not seeing the same thing over and over again. Now, when you're done with these first 5, the next thing you're going to do is go into the boss. You're going to go into the boss tool. And the boss tool is called Hedra. 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 So let me show you what Hedra looks like. This is Hedra right here. And in Hedra, you spend your credits on matching audio to video or audio to static picture for it to generate a moving one. And you can do all sorts of things. So video, you could generate an image. You could generate speech. I don't use that. You could create a real-time avatar, and then you got a library of whatever you've done. And in the library, it just shows what you have. So this is another video that I'm working on, just to give you an idea of what a finished product would look like. So I fed it a static image and the audio, and this is what it gave me back. Let me see if I can play this. Oh, it's a bit loud. Okay, let me turn it down a little bit. Is there volume control here? There is. Okay, let's lower the volume. Okay.
That screams for faster, louder, more renowned. I choose the mellow path. I take a different vow, a symphony of stillness, a melody serene, where every breath is rhythm, every thought is pristine. Let the sax sing soft, a lullaby for the mind, even all the friends that scream.
So again, going into Hedra is a long game. You got to be ready to have many different cuts. But when you are done with whatever you're doing in Hedra, you can get some pretty awesome results. I never really took Hedra seriously until I realized I needed to get better with my video creation, as opposed to it just being a static image or a moving image without a matching audio. So I decided I'd already gotten a subscription to Hedra, but never really used it. So I decided, okay, I have to use it. So let me show you an example. I'm going to load the audio, and I'm going to load this start frame. I'm going to show you how it all works. So let me add an audio real quick. Find an audio somewhere from my desktop that works. And maybe the BaGTalk one will be a good one since you've seen it. So when you load the audio, it shows you this. You got to decide how much audio do I want to put on. Now, depending on how much audio you put in, your credits could run out very quickly. So you have to you have to be smart with your audio. Let's check it. It's very loud. Turn that down. Okay.
And we on the BaGTalk, smell the money, smell the green. Hey.
Okay, so let me take just that piece. It's not even, the quality of the audio doesn't have to be that great, because that's not going to be your final audio. See? So let's hit add to video. So it uses this as a parking lot. And then you also need to add your image. So let's find an image for use here. Let me find one that comes with the video. Okay, this would be a good one. So this was not in the original video, what I'm going to load here, but there you have the image I'm going to use. Let's make it bigger, so at least you got some idea. Oh, come back. You got some idea anyway. That's it. That's an image of me, and I'm just gonna say man driving down the freeway singing, and you just hit enter. So again, it's a static image. It usually shows you how many credits are going to be dinged. You need to look out for that. I just missed that. But the shorter the tracks are, the better. And then on the left-hand side, it shows you how close you are to being done. Over here. So we're going to let that cook so that I can keep talking about the process. Okay. So when you get done in Hedra, you're going to have many tiny little clips, or you could actually just get a pro account in Hedra, and you can match 3 minutes of video if you want, but it's going to be very boring just looking at someone singing without all of the dynamic interaction. You get what I'm saying? It's not enough just to see someone rapping or someone singing or someone playing. That's why you have so many different shots, and that's why music videos cost a lot of money, because you're going to all these different locations. But the cool thing is you can do them all in Hedra. You can first of all create a superior prompt. So let me give you a few words that you want to look out for if you want a very good prompt. Let me actually give you the first few words here. You got to put in things like this. Let me put this in the chat. Hold on. Okay. All right, so in the chat, high definition cinematic still, ultra realistic DSLR 4K photography. So when you're creating the photo, just the photo, this is the kind of thing that gets you that 4K look, which is very important. Okay. All right, so when you get done in Hedra, let me show you what we were cooking in Hedra. I know it's a long process. I know. Okay. So this is what we just cooked in Hedra. And let's see.
Woke up this morning, smelled them.
So that's how you do it. But again, it wouldn't make sense to have the ad lib and the lead voice show as one person, just like it was about to. Instead, let's make it bigger so you can see it properly.
Woke up this morning, smelled them.
So if you're not quick to cut the audio, you end up wasting credits on stuff you didn't use. But the summary is you get all of this stuff from Hedra, and then the next step is to go into a timeline like this, Clipchamp. Clipchamp is free from Microsoft. If you've got a Microsoft account, you can use Clipchamp. So over here on the screen, that's Clipchamp, and that's the BaGTalk timeline. And the timeline has got all of these little ingredients, as you can see, lined up. And, you know, I've used everything from Premiere to Vegas, so many tools. But I realize it's not about the tool. It's about the brain behind the tool, right? And like I said, I like simple. So even though I have other tools, I just like using this because it's very simple. You line them all up. You also have the audio track. So loud. Wonder why it's so loud. Let's turn that down. Way down. Okay. So. So that's it. I know it may not interest a whole lot of folks, but I got a very good question about it, and I promised I was going to cover it in today's session. So that's how Hedra works. You got to match that timeline. You assemble multiple videos, and boom, you got your final. But it takes a lot of iterations going back and forth and all that great stuff. All right.